Hey, so I just finished the whole Summer Game Fest Geoff Keighley presentation thing. I'm actually here in person. That's why I'm at this weird hotel. I went to the event thing, checked it out. Now I'm back here. And I want to talk about some stuff. The event itself, there were some things that I wasn't into. There were quite a few things that I was into. So this isn't really like a play-by-play. I just wanted to highlight some of my favorite things. If you're new here, that's what I do. I just kind of talk about stuff I love. And yeah, a lot of games. So the man who erased his name seems really cool. As you guys probably know, I'm a Yakuza fan. But specifically, I'm a Kazuma Kiryu fan. I think he's super awesome, and I was sad to see him go. And they're bringing him back in like a bizarre, new, weird way, which makes absolutely sense for the series. Like it's perfect. He's like sexy secret agent, cool badass guy. I don't know. It's cool that what they did with this trailer is that it seems like it picked up right where that first teaser trailer announcement, like with him having a code name and everything like that. But now we get to see actually like what you're doing, and we actually saw gameplay. We saw combat, and the combat's wild. It's punching, it's brawling, which is, to be honest, I'm sorry, like it's how I prefer these games. The most recent one, the turn-based stuff, that was cool, but like I like punching dudes in the streets and throwing garbage cans at them. And now you have magical powers or something. Like you see him literally zap objects to his hand and fling them around and do all kinds of crazy stuff. I don't know what's going on, but I'm about it. Also, Dead by Daylight, we knew that Nick Cage was going to be in the game. That was announced a couple weeks ago, but now we actually got to see the gameplay, but we also got to see Nick Cage himself come out and just kind of be his weird self, and that was nice to see. It kind of reminded me of the Keanu Reeves thing when he came out at E3 and was like, "You're breathtaking!" Like, it was like that, and it was really cool to breathe the same air as Nick Cage. I don't know. He's funny. I like him. It was kind of jarring as someone who doesn't really like Dead by Daylight. Like, it cut to gameplay of it, and it's just kind of Dead by Daylight. But hey, a lot of people really love that game, so you guys do you. But yeah. Also, like, from this event specific, I didn't know, like, Sony was going to give Geoff Keighley some specific juice, but they did. We got a Spider-Man 2 release date, and we knew it was going to be in the fall, but, like, I'm happy that it's October 20th, and they showed off Venom, and they said it's not technically Eddie Brock, which is very cool. Obviously, the last game set up a lot, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. I've said this a million times, but I just like how Insomniac tells Spider-Man stories. To me, it feels like they really get it. And yes, now that it's confirmed that like it definitely is going to add Brooklyn and Queens, but with them saying that the city's like double the size, means that that's going to be a lot of Brooklyn and Queens, which is pretty awesome. Also, can we talk about Lies of P? I've talked about this on the channel so many times. I think I like put it on like my most anticipated list. So I like Souls games. I appreciate them. It takes me a long time to learn them. I suck at them, but I enjoy them. But it's not like my favorite series. It's not something I seek out on a regular basis. But with Lies of P, I am jumping in that shit day one because it is just my style, my atmosphere, everything I want from a game. Spooky gothic Victorian horror elements, kind of like that Bloodborne type thing, but with a dash of almost like BioShock animatronic. Like there's just so much going on here that I am about. I'm glad that has a release date. It's September 19th. It's looking really gorgeous, and the fact that there's a demo out now is really cool for everybody at home. I'm gonna try and get it running on my Steam Deck and see how that goes, so I'll let you guys know. The fact that John Carpenter is involved with the game and it's like Saber Interactive, it's John Carpenter's Toxic Commando. I love this whole concept. So when they first showed that trailer, the first part that was like cinematic, I was like, is this going to be another generic multiplayer game, whatever, zombies? But as the trailer went on and we got to see gameplay, which again, this event did show a lot of gameplay, and I'm glad. Seeing the gameplay here really turned me around on it, and I'm into it. It looks like a spiritual successor to Dead Rush. It's a game you guys probably remember I talked about a while ago here about canceled games, like weird, obscure canceled games. Dead Rush was kind of a game based around you having a car and driving through a zombie apocalypse and trying to fix up your car and upgrade it to being like a death machine. This seems to have kind of like a first-person shooter co-op thing, but centered around a vehicle. And that vehicle has spikes and turrets, and that just seems exciting to me, specifically because it's different. Like, it's just something a little different. Well, yes, on the surface, it looks like generic zombie killing, but like if it's got elements that are unique, like this whole truck mechanic, like that's a little fresh. That's not just another Call of Duty Zombies, so I'm in. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, like, what was a nice surprise. It wasn't the biggest surprise. Like, I kind of felt like I kind of saw it coming a little bit. The rumors were kind of all over the place. It does seem awesome. It does seem what we expect. And I just really liked that they doubled down in the marketing. Like at the end, it was like coming to PS5 on 2 discs. Like that's cool. They know what they're doing. That's nostalgia. But also like that could mean it's a really big ass game. and that's wild. The Mortal Kombat gameplay, I think, was my personal highlight just because it looks so different. I think, like, in the world of people being sick of, like, reboots and remakes, I like that they're going, and I said this in the Friday show a little bit, I'm sorry if I repeat myself, but, like, I like that they're going with the comic book approach, where it's just, they're taking the characters and they're remixing them. Like, here's new interpretations of these characters like you haven't seen. Mortal Kombat needed a refresh, and it was a good time for it. It made sense with how the last game ended, which I loved how it ended, and they could have just kept going, but this is really cool. And it just seems so different and wild. When it cut to, like Kenshi and Johnny Cage fighting in like a mansion, I was like, what the hell is this game? This is nuts. Really cool, really different. Also, I just love that Kenshi is front and center. I always really, really liked him. But also that cameo system, dude, with the characters jumping in. It's like other fighting games where you do this, like you tap a button and like another player hops in and adds to your combo and attacks, like, and then bounces away. Like, that's cool, but just seeing the NetherRealm spin on it was really cool. It's very over the top. It's a little more visually interesting, but like to the point where like your main character will like duck down and then you see the other cameo character pop in and jump over them. Like, little attention to detail stuff like that in just like a really crazy trailer that was just filled with killer moments. I was about it. Also, Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2, it just looks so good. Like, they put out a gameplay trailer a couple weeks ago that was like a small snippet of this, but now we got a bunch, and the fact that you can play it with up to 3 players, I am very much interested in that. I've gone on record, I said it about Bolt Gun, which is really awesome. You should check it out. I don't really know anything about Warhammer 40k, but I played Space Marine, I played Bolt Gun. That shit is cool, and this seems pretty awesome. I know I'm just kind of like saying games and then saying they're awesome, but that's how this goes. I'm talking about the things I like, but then there's weird stuff. Like, they showed a scene from the Twisted Metal show, and I don't know what they're doing. It was just like they were just 2 characters doing bits. It was Anthony Mackie and Sweet Tooth just doing bits. The bits were funny. I actually like a Cisco reference, but it just didn't, it felt so strange and jarring. My Twisted Metal can be tongue-in-cheek, but like, I like it a little grimy, you know? You're damn right I am gonna watch that entire show, whether it's good or bad, and maybe talk about it. I said I was gonna do that with the Halo show, but then I was so depressed after it, I just didn't really talk about it. But hey, also I like seeing other weird shit pop up, like it's like we're going back to the early 2000s where it's like, let's take this thing and then make it awesome, like they're doing with King Arthur now. This is King Arthur Legends Rise, and like, I don't know what to make of this. It's like an Unreal game. It might not be my cup of tea, but like, it just stood out to me because I'm like, oh cool, I'm glad we're doing that again. We're taking classic characters and things and making them edgy and badass and like gamery, and you know what, I'm all for it. And I'm gonna keep saying it, and I think I'm playing it here at Summer Game Fest, like behind the scenes. The Immortals of Aveum, when they first announced that game, I thought it looked incredibly generic and boring, but the more I see of it, the cooler it seems. That level we got to see, that area was really compelling. Just very different, very fresh. I'm curious, I really hope it plays like what I was hoping the combat would play out as in Ghostwire Tokyo. And then Alan Wake 2. Love to see it. It actually, like, the way the gameplay went down, it was kind of what I expected, but it seems cool. It's like a mix between more of the modern over-the-shoulder third person, like the Resident Evil remakes, with the classic Alan Wake stuff where you're using a flashlight and shit. Like, it just seemed like it worked really well. It also just looked gorgeous and had some good tension to it. Again, it was such a short snippet. I wish we got a little more, but I like what I see, and I like that it seems like it's going to have a little bit of a slow, deliberate pace to it. Also, hearing Sam Lake talk about how it's going to go down narratively and how you play as the different characters. Apparently it's going to be like 50-50, the new character Saga and then Alan Wake, and you can kind of pick and choose how you want to work through their stories, is really interesting, especially if they get kind of weird with the writing, which it's Remedy, so I expect them to be pretty inventive there. And then 2 things, I talked about this more on the Friday show, but the Prince of Persia game, as a concept, I wasn't into it, like where you're not playing as the prince, but just seeing that gameplay and seeing how cool this character does look and how almost anime inspired it all kind of looks, like how the action is framed, I was just into that, and it just seems fresh for Ubisoft, and I feel like they've been needing something, so it's good to see that they're possibly doing that. Oh, and then Under the Waves. Under the Waves I think we've actually known about already, but just kind of seemed like my vibe. Every once in a while I like a chill exploration game, and this seems like it has a little bit more going on than just that, but it just felt like a game, like a cozy sea underwater game I want to cozy up with. Like I really liked Abzu and like stuff like that, so yeah. But there's still so much stuff going on here. Annapurna is having a showcase at the end of the month for more indie style games. There's some indie showcases going on here as we're talking about this, like Devolver and like PC stuff. So there's that. Then there's Xbox. So hopefully I'm going to be talking about a lot more. I'm going to be playing things behind the scenes, so hopefully I can get you guys some stuff. But I just wanted to give you guys my quick thoughts on what I was thinking about this stuff. So let me know what you think in the comments. Like if you got like one personal highlight, I would love to hear it. Were you going crazy for Mortal Kombat like I was? Like, was it Pal World? Was it Pokemon with guns? What was it? Let's talk about any of this stuff. I want to hear from you guys. And if you like what I'm trying to do here, if you get what I'm trying to do, I'm just talking about stuff I love, clicking the like button helps me. Thank you. But I gotta go back to work. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm Jake Baldino. Subscribe because video games, pizza's on me.